Shalom Israel, first and foremost, I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem HaKadosh, the branch of the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us truth, peace, and blessings to the hope like of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the unfriendly Hebrew. Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back when we listen, and as you see within the title, we're going to be going to this defiled bread, which I may title it something else, but going to be going to the situation which you see right here within the background. So we've been eating the same ingredients that's in our yoga mats, and this would be regarding, I believe, speaking of Subway bread, which is not the first time that something has came out, regarding Subway, because I remember making a lesson a while back, going into tuna not really being tuna. So now you have more things coming out regarding fast food, and you really should be, which I don't know if I guess Subway counted as fast food, but just these food places in general. A lot of times it's not really food. Speaking of McDonald's, Burger King, various other examples. Especially when you look into how these things are made, and not really being food once again. But going to play this real quick right here. Get a couple of scriptures to further expound these points. And the Lord's will lesson be able to find to dive right into it.
I also discovered Subway was selling sandwiches with the chemical called azodicarbonamide in their bread in other countries. This is the same chemical they use in yoga mats and shoe rubber. When you turn a yoga mat sideways and you see the evenly dispersed air bubbles? Well, they wanted to do the same thing in bread, so it would be the same exact product every time you went to a Subway. When the chemical is heated, studies show that it turns into a carcinogen. Not only is this ingredient banned in Europe and Australia, you get fined $450,000 if you caught using it in Singapore.
So you mean to tell me they putting shoe rubber and yoga mat rubber inside of your food, and now it's fined in other countries, but in America, the good old USA, they're giving it to us on a daily basis at a pace cost.
And this is why this devil needs to be taken out. Constantly trying to destroy us in every way possible. But Subway is looked upon as the so-called, I guess, healthier, option, to go to. But even then, even dealing with the so-called organic, food that's higher priced that you see within supermarkets, even that's full of chemicals and a bunch of crap that's not good for your body. This devil got to go. You're not getting the proper, nutrients your body needs from foods, from water. Even the air that we breathe is defiled.
Subway, which had pedophile, you know what? Let me not even go there. So
and also there was that too.
They give it. They love the kids. We know that. They want all of us to be healthy when they're putting yoga mats and shoe particles inside of our food. It's banned in other countries, but America loves its constituents and all of its citizens, and they make sure to give us the best all the time. So if you want to stay away from processed foods and need more help and more direction, be sure to reach out to us.
Well, let's see what these comments say. The FAA needs to be disbanded. United Snakes of America. That's a good one right there. Esau is known as that serpent. You get described with that old serpent, the devil. Speaking of Esau, Edom. So the government allows it. The government is in on it. Get that correct. And so this is in a lot of cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which you see right here. And they have tons of if you see the ingredients list, and it has words that you're unable to pronounce, then obviously something's up. But which is also why it's important to study the back of ingredients to make sure we're not putting crap into our body, at least that we know of. So even then. But Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 13, which is the main point of this whole lesson, it says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." And you're seeing that defiled bread within these supermarkets, within these fast food places, the water, full of chemicals. The air we breathe, full of chemicals, poisons, breaking down our body, making our bodies weaker. The devil is attacking us on all fronts. And scriptures, clearly say for a reason that this is not our rest. So let's read real quick. It says, "On rising, depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction." Let's get that word polluted. And it says contaminated with harmful or poisonous substances, contaminant, corrupt. It's all defiled, it's all corrupted, man. And yet you have Jake all fine and dandy, with the way that things are, the way things are going, especially when it comes to the food. You'll tell Jake to stay away from these, fast food places like McDonald's, and that's not really food, especially with all these so-called, conspiracy theories that are coming out regarding what's actually within, the food. A lot of people are wondering why, millions of people are going missing. And there's also why you have people who will also make jokes, regarding, either Burger King or McDonald's. They'll do, a super deal. Get, a big meal combo for $5. And you have people saying, you eat that, you're eating deer ankles, raccoon hands, all types of stuff. But, people making jokes about it, but you don't know what you're eating. Micah 2 and 10, this is a rising depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." So that's what we're doing now, sighing and crying out unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai to get us out of here, to destroy this place. Okay, look at all the abominable things that are being upheld. The confusion and wickedness is constantly being pushed. The way this devil is running this place, and he's running to the ground. Which is ultimately what he was set up to do, to be the wicked, to be the bad guy of this story. So ultimately, this devil's doing his job, but we need the Lord. Got a couple more scriptures, like I said, shouldn't be too long with less, and Lord will make another one go into something else, see what the Spirit allows. But Isaiah 30 and 1 through 3, and it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but out of me, and that cover the covering but out of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And you also had that recent situation, I believe, Campbell's Soup. DVU that had the CEO or one of the top people that was managing that company. I guess a phone call leaked or secretly recorded, and you see all the terrible things he said, about the people that do eat it, and I believe even things that are within it. So for those that want to continue to trust and put their faith, in Esau, Edom, and this devil, then you're going to turn out good for you. Verse 2, "That walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves, the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." Verse 3, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." So to be your shame and confusion for trusting in this devil, man. You tell Jacob about these things. They wouldn't do that. They can't do that. The government wouldn't allow that. Well, guess what? The government's not set in place for your well-being, for your benefit. This devil don't care about you. And it's making that crystal clear, especially with everything that's taking place. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10 says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusts, so is his wickedness." So he's not to be trusted. It's within the scriptures for a reason, as you can also further get, how this book was written for our foretime, for our learning. So apply it. Two more scriptures, Proverbs 29 and 2 says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice." These people are going to be glad. That's going to be, under us, in the kingdom. And so when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Everything is suffering, under this devil's rule. The animals, the people, and especially the Israelites, which were the main target, the main forefront of these attacks. You have a target. You have with the blacks, the black lines, the white lines, all those various numbers. But the main point that people try to hit is that red dot in the middle, and that's Jake. But when the righteous authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. For that point, Romans 8:22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. So everything is suffering, or it's under this devil's rulership. But not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our bodies. So we're patiently waiting upon our Lord to get out of here, destroy his place, set things back in his rightful order. But that's the point right there. I came across that video that I'm making a lesson, going into that. Like, it's not the first time something else came out regarding, a Subway. The last time it was dealing with tuna not being, tuna. Now you're seeing with the bread being pretty much the same ingredients as those of a foam mat. Things you have in shoes. So now it'd be, put on our A game and to be wary and careful with things that we eat. And obviously, putting our faith and our trust in Yahweh Bashmal Shah. Because you have this devil, purposely, putting, crap within foods, drinks, to destroy our bodies, try to make us go off, But that's the point right there. Lord's lesson was edifying, quick to the point. I do close out, give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashmal Shah Bashim Kakadash and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.